Okidoki. The Apothecary Diaries, or Kusuriya no Hitorigoto, is a light novel that's making the rounds in the otaku sphere. Or maybe more the manga, that seems to be the popular way of reading, because we just love our pretty pictures. I picked up the light novel because adaptations tend to leave out stuff for pacing, and I just wanted that full, authentic experience. Our story begins with Maomao, an apprentice apothecary residing in the red light districts of ancient China. For those who don't know, the red light district is a place where you can meet women that provide specific services. Services that the young ones may be too young to understand. While gathering herbs, Maomao is kidnapped and sent to the rear palace, a place where young women are gathered to try their chances at wooing the Empire, who has the task to produce as many heirs as possible with the women of the rear palace. Basically, the red light district if it only had one customer. While planning to just live out her servitude until she's able to return home, Maomao's curiosity gets the best of her when she hears about the children of the royal consorts, the emperor's favourite women, who are all mysteriously dying one by one. She manages to save one of the tiny tots, but she also catches the eye of the high-ranking eunuch Jinshi. A eunuch being a man who has had his man parts chopped off so they don't socialise with the rear palace women, and he decides to make use of Maomao's talents as a poison taster, much to her dismay. The story is broken up into chapters. Most of the time, Maomao is introduced to a mystery that she must solve. Some of them end up spanning multiple chapters or volumes. The mysteries feel like a series of lateral thinking puzzles for chemists, which I guess that's what all mysteries are, maybe less the chemist part. It's a very fun and intriguing narrative, watching Maomao use her knowledge of medicine and poisons to apply them to a number of situations. The plot developments also have a habit of catching you off guard. This may be my dumb YouTuber brain speaking, but there are a lot of times where it hits you with some really good twists. It does a great job of laying down the groundworks for future arcs, leaving little bits of information or unresolved pieces that the author uses to set up developments that feel very natural, never forced or out of left field. I really like Maomao as well. She's similar to another character I really like, Haruhi from Ouran High School Host Club. Two intelligent young women who the story tries to tell you that they're not conventionally pretty, but we all know that's a lie. They're hella cute. Suddenly find themselves among high society using their know-how to traverse the unfamiliar environment. Maomao is just sick of everyone's shit and trying to live her best life, but she continues to be dragged into one dastardly plot after another. Maomao also has an odd hobby. Even before she became a poison tester, her time as an apothecary's apprentice gave her access to numerous poisons, which she used extensively. Now you may think, oh no, she's a little psychopath that's going around testing on small animals. You know those documentaries. The serial killer was a completely sweet and normal child, except for the fact that he would mutilate stray animals. But no, that's not the case here. She's still a little bit nuts, but in an endearing way. All the poison tests run by Maomao were only done on humans. Only one to be exact. Herself. A mad fascination of the deadly, Maomao relishes the feeling of being poisoned, loving the numbness and the pain. She even carries at all times a concoction that makes her throw up any substances that prove to be too much. Because of this, Maomao actually has quite the built-up resistance to poisons, making her the perfect candidate for poison testing. A job that most would find horrifying, having to ingest something that could end your life at the snap of a finger, but Maomao absolutely adores. There's this hilarious scene, and it's actually the one that got me to pick up the series. Maomao is performing her duties for an event for the Emperor and his consorts, and we watch Maomao take a bite of her sample. Her eyes widen. She goes into a state of bliss. One where you would think that this dish must taste absolutely divine. Then, she spits out her food, places down her cutlery, and simply announces, "This is poison." It's such a great scene, especially when you find out shortly afterwards, one of the high-ranking officials couldn't believe his ears because of how much Maomao seemed to be enjoying herself, and took a bite for himself, sending him into shock instantly. We gotta talk about Jinshi as well, the eunuch that took advantage of Maomao's talents. He's a man, who is no longer a man, but has the looks to rival most women in the rear palace. With his beauty, a mere glance at his ethereal gaze is able to charm most women, and some men as well, and mainly looks after issues that occur in the rear palace, often dragging Maomao along with him. His interactions with Maomao are always a delight, as she is one of the few that don't get instantly charmed. In fact, she often grimaces when she sees him because it just means more work for her. You can tell he actually cares for Maomao, especially when she decides to try out a new poison and he forces her to throw it up. Honestly, a lot of the characters here are very charming, many of them being people who received help from Maomao in some way or another, now looking out for her in their own way, while also teasing her for her unorthodox mindset. To make a small complaint, I wish the illustrations for the light novel didn't try to keep things looking beautiful and spotless. There's this scene where someone has a really bad allergic reaction and they pull up their sleeve to show what is supposed to be a rash on their skin, but the illustration just draws a clean arm. It's a bit jarring reading something described one way and then seeing something completely different. Maomao's entire arm is covered in wounds from her numerous poison testing experiments, but we just never really get to see that. It's a minor complaint, so you don't have to worry about it too much. I can't be too certain, but I would place bets that the Apothecary Diary is a sleeper hit that's just waiting for more people to talk about it. Once this gets an anime adaptation, I could definitely see this series skyrocketing in popularity, in which I'll say, I was here first, I read it before it was cool. I've also ran over the manga a bit, and I definitely see why that one is getting noticed. They don't take too much away, and it maintains a lot of the same charm I find in the light novel. Definitely worth picking up, light novel or manga, whichever you decide. Thanks for watching. If you want me to taste test some poison, let me know in the comments below and tell me your thoughts while you're down there. Like and subscribe for more content, let me know if there's something you'd like me to cover. I like to talk about anything that interests me. That's all I want to say. I hope you all have a good day.